Hi everybody, I am Dr. Purushottam DN. Let us begin with the session for BCom third semester, subject entitled Indian Financial System. This is with the first unit entitled An Overview. Under that, the structure of Indian financial system reveals different type of the institutions working in the Indian financial system. The Indian financial market is divided into two types, money market and capital market. Money market comes under the financial market. The financial market refers to the trading in very short-term debt investments from 1 to 90 days. It is regulated by RBI. It is the wholesale market. The transaction volume in this market is large. Instruments traded in the money market are treasury bills. These are negotiable financial assets. It is issued by the Central Bank of India. Treasury bills are issued for 91 days to 182 days or 364 days. The interest rate of the T-bills is determined by the market forces. Call money. Call money is number 2 is call money. Call money is money borrowed on demand for very short term. It is issued only for 1 day. It means when a sudden demand for the fund is required. Certificate of deposit. Certificate of deposit is a very saving certificate with fixed maturity date. It is an unsecured negotiable financial instrument. It can issue to institutes, individuals, corporations, trusts and funds. It varies from 7 days to 1 year. Commercial bills. A commercial or bill of exchange bill arises out of genuine trade transaction. It is high liquidity and has low risk. Varies from 7 days to 1 year. Commercial papers. Commercial bills are unsecured. Short-term debt issued by a corporation. All Indian institutions. Varies from 7 days to 1 year. It can be issued to individuals, banking companies, NRI and foreign institutional investors. Capital market. Capital market is a market where the trader of shares, debentures, bonds and other long-term investments take place. It deals with medium-term and long-term investments. It is regulated by the SEBI. Capital markets are composed of primary and secondary markets. Primary markets. The marketplace for new debentures, bonds and other long-term investments is called primary market. In this market, prices are fixed. Secondary market, the place where securities are traded is called secondary market. In this market, prices are determined by the market forces. Instruments traded in capital market are given below. Instruments are traded in the capital markets. Those are non-security market. Under that, mutual funds. A mutual fund is a combination of securities such as stock, bonds and short-term and long-term investments. Fund manager arise money from any investors and invest in lots of financial instruments to minimize the risk. Bank deposits. Bank deposit is the money account or fixed deposit account. Provident fund. Provident fund is an investment fund contributed by the employees in which the full amount with interest is provided to the employee or retirement. Small savings. Saving your earning for your future is called personal savings. We save money for any uncertainty that happens in the future or desire to buy some assets. Security market. Share is the long-term financial resources for the company. It is issued to the public and can be traded in the secondary market. The company never takes its share back. There are two types of the shares, equity shares and preference shares. Debentures is a debt instruments issued by the company to the general public to raise the funds for the function of company. Generally, a debenture is unsecured and it is a long-term instrument. Commodity. A commodity market is a market where the buying, selling and trading raw or primary products. For example, gold, silver and etc. A derivative is a financial instrument that is a contract between two people. In derivative, the buyer or seller agrees to purchase or sell the asset on a specific date at a specific price. Types of the derivatives are future derivatives, forward derivatives, option derivatives, and swap derivatives. In Indian financial markets are subdivided broadly into money market. Structurally, money market comprise both the organized and unorganized sectors. Unorganized sector is normally made of the indigenous money lenders and bankers who do not follow the formal lines of business. Their business are informal and thus independent of the Reserve Bank of India or banks for any fund support. This sector is shrinking, but during the period of economic reforms launched after 1981, the activities of these institutions have become a matter of serious concern and anxiety. Financial services are there. As the same suggests, financial services are the services provided by the financial institutions. These services generally include the banking services, foreign services, investment services, insurance services, and few others. Following is a very brief description of the services. Financial intermediaries. A financial intermediary is an institution which connects the deficit and the surplus. The best example of an intermediary can be bank which transforms the bank deposits to bank loans. The role of financial intermediary is to channel funds from people who have extra inflow of money to those who do not have enough money to fulfill the needs or to carry out the basic activities. The organized component of the money market consists of the Reserve Bank of India, commercial banks, cooperative bank. The RBI is the head of the financial institution as well as the monetary authority of the country. In the diagram, we have not shown anything about the Reserve Bank of India. The second most important component of the organized money market is the commercial banks. The first commercial bank is the country Bank of Bengal, was set up in 1806 in Kolkata. In addition to the Presidency Bank of Kolkata, two presidency banks were established in 1840 in Mumbai. In 1843 in Chennai, in Mumbai in 1843, integrating these three commercial banks or presidency banks, the Imperial Bank of India was formed in 1921. This Imperial Bank was nationalized in 1955 and then come to known as State Bank of India. Its 7 subsidiary banks were nationalized in 1956. However, the Indira Gandhi nationalized 14 commercial banks having deposited 15 crores and above in 1969. And the 6 private banks were nationalized in 1980. At present, number of the public sector banks are only 12. Financial instrument is the tradable asset which can be in terms of cash agreement, evidence of an ownership in an entity, or contractual right which has the right to deliver or cash any kind of assets. Financial markets. It is a mechanism that allows the people include themselves in the buying and selling of financial securities at price that reflect the market's effectiveness. In terms of size, business, cooperative bank in India are rather tiny compared to commercial bank. It is a 3-tier banking structure with the state cooperative bank operating in such state as an affects bank. At the district level, the central cooperative banks, and at the village level, the primary agricultural credit societies. However, long-term loans beyond 5 years are given by the primary cooperative agriculture and rural development banks. Although public sector commercial banks are the dominant banking sector, privately owned banks although public sector commercial banks are the dominant banking sector, privately owned banks are none the less important in the liberalization regime. Following the Narasimha Committee recommendations made in 1991 and in 1998, private banks are now being allowed to operate in addition, there are some foreign banks operating in India with little or no restriction now. Finally, regional rural banks have, although Public sector commercial banks are dominated banking sector. Privately owned banks are the less important in the liberalization regime. Great needs of the rural people. So many number of the regional rural banks are there. The other financial institutions are the main three elements of the financial institutions are insurance sector, mutual funds, development banks. Two notable insurance institutions are Life Insurance Company of Life Insurance Corporation of India and General Insurance Corporation. The most prominent mutual funds institution is the Unit Trust of India. Finally, as the name suggests, development banks provide long-term capital to industries in a rather non-conventional way. At present, there are as many as 60 development banks in the country. 60 development banks in the country. The largest of them is the Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI. Finally, in the industrial finance, there is an institution called Capital Market that provides long-term funds to both public and private sectors, both public and private sector units. Security market is the most important component of the capital market that deals in both corporate government or gilt-edged securities. In India, the capital market has undergone a revolutionary change in recent years following the launching of the new economic policies in 1991 as well as 2020. Intermediary functions. The intermediary functions of the financial markets include the concept, transfer of the resources. The financial markets facilitate the transfer of the real economic resources from lenders to the ultimate borrowers. Number two is enhancing income. Financial markets allow the lenders to earn interest or dividend on their surplus individual funds, thus contributing to the enhancement of the individual and national income. And productive usage. Financial markets allow for the productive usage of the funds borrowed, the enhancing the income and the gross national production. Number four is capital formation. Financial markets provide a channel through which new services flow to aid capital information of a company. Number five is price determination. Financial markets allow for the determination of the price of the traded financial assets through the interaction of the buyers and sellers. They provide a sign of allocation of funds in the economy based on the demand and to the supply through the mechanism called price discovery process. Number six is sale mechanism. Financial markets provide a mechanism for selling of a financial assets by an investor so as to offer the benefit of marketability and liquidity of such assets. Six is information. The activities of the participants in the financial markets result in the generation and the consequent dissemination of information to the various agreements of the market so as to reduce the cost of transaction financial assets. And lastly, they provide the borrower with funds so as to enable them to carry out their investment plans, providing the lenders with earning assets as to enable them to earn wealth by deploying the assets in production debenture, and providing liquidity in the market so as to facilitate trade of funds, providing liquidity of commercial bank, facilitate credit creation, promoting savings, promoting investment, facilitating balanced economic growth, improving the trading flows. These are the functions of the Indian financial system.